Willie D live.
So we have a Southwest Atlanta homeowner who was charged with aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony after he reportedly shot two teenagers he believed were stealing packages from his front porch. Police say the incident occurred on Thursday afternoon at the Villages of the Cascade townhome complex on Celeste Lane Southwest. Officers responding to reports of shots fired found two juveniles with gunshot wounds. One victim, a 15-year-old, was shot in the foot. The other 16 was shot in the arm and taken to a hospital in critical condition before undergoing surgery. Both teens are expected to survive. Authorities identified the homeowner as Rakeem Bradford, who admitted to shooting the teens, according to the police. Officers say the teens had allegedly followed a delivery van into the complex and were in the act of taking packages when Bradford opened fire. So, it's a serious incident anytime a child is injured. But here's the deal, fam. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This particular shooting has sparked discussion around the appropriate use of fire in defense of property, particularly amid growing concerns over package thefts during the holiday season. Police noted that porch piracy is a common complaint in the area this time of year. Bradford is currently facing charges as the investigation continues. So, the youngsters who were stealing the packages apparently didn't know that they could be shot. They are absolutely lucky that they didn't lose their lives. Now, here's the deal. Remember, I was just talking about how you got to know when to use that gun. Apparently, Buddy didn't know when to use the gun. Apparently, he didn't know that you can't just open fire on people because they're stealing packages off your porch. But here's the deal. It depends on how the prosecution approaches this. Typically, if the prosecution really wants to prosecute, they'll prosecute. If they want to get this guy a break, sometimes they'll arrest the guy. They want to give him a break. They call a grand jury. They call a grand jury, and the grand jury decides if they're going to indict or not. In this situation, he could find some sympathy from people who have had their packages stolen, from people who have had their cars broken into, their homes broken into. I think he's going to find a lot of empathy from his community and society at large. People are tired of getting their stuff taken from them. They're tired of people breaking into their homes, stealing their stuff. They work hard for their stuff, and they're tired of people stealing. And they're also tired of these young people killing. Back in the day, oh, he shot a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. These just kids. He shot these kids. And, people would have a little bit more empathy for these children. But these days, even the 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds are killers. They're walking around with AKs. They're airing it out. They are killing. And I'm not talking about one incident of a killing. Some of them have multiple incidents where they've killed people. 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. So there are a lot of people who are calling this guy a hero. Yeah, they're calling him a hero. I saw Boyce Watkins in one of the comment sections, and he said, "Don't try to steal from a real man. You might end up on a t-shirt." That damn near need to be. You know what? I saw Boyce posted something I can't remember, some type of video with him rapping. It's one of them AI things, and he was rapping. It seemed like boys trying to slide on in on the MC side or something, because that could actually be a bar. Don't try to steal from a real man. You might end up on a t-shirt. Yeah. Yeah. You got people who are calling for this guy's freedom. They say, man, free him. Free him. Get that man a medal. Yeah. Give that man a medal. But there have been cases like this where people have stolen off people's porches or stole stuff from them, and they shot them, and they said that these people were standing their ground. So a lot of this stuff comes down to interpretation and how much the prosecution want to go after, how much the DA's office want to go after a person. That was a shooting in Houston, well, in the suburb of Houston, Pasadena, several years ago, where these Hispanic dudes had broken into this house. I believe it was two Hispanic dudes broke into a house, and the white neighbor came out of the house and shot him. Before he shot him, the white neighbor called 911 and told him what was going on. And he said, oh, they're leaving. Oh, I'm finna go out there. You know, I'm gonna shoot him or something like that, he said. And he took his gun as these guys were trying to run away, and he shot both of them, killed both of them. And guess what happened? Nothing. Nothing. The grand jury refused to indict. Now, if that ain't a clear case of cold blood, I don't know what is. He was in his house. They wasn't in his house. They were breaking into his neighbor's house. He was safe. He was safe inside of his house. His job could have been done after he called the police and said, hey, this was happening, woo, woo. But he decided to step outside of his house with a gun and gun them down. Now, it might have worked out for the average person if you come out of your house with a gun and you hold them at gunpoint until the police come. But he killed both of them and walked. Don't try this at home, because you're going to jail. The average person, especially the black person, you do something like that, you going to jail. Because what do they tell you? They say, hey, man, look, if your life is not in danger, if your life is not in imminent danger, you didn't have to kill them. Your life was not in imminent danger. You was inside of your house behind closed doors. You did not have to come outside and shoot those guys. So you go to jail. That's what they would do to the average person, especially a black person. But this white guy was able to walk because the grand jury, who usually in Harris County are usually made up of mostly white people, they let him walk. Yeah. So you better know when to use that gun and when not to use it, because you can find you can go from being a victim to a victimizer in the eyes of the law. Now, here's the deal. Having said all of that, I bet you those youngsters gonna think twice before they try to steal somebody else's package off their porch. Because them bullets hurt, man. Them bullets ain't nothing nice. Those youngsters they're not victims. I don't look at them as victims. They were going in there to steal. They knew right from wrong. They were going in to steal. They went in to steal. They're not victims. They're not victims. If Buddy go in there and get himself a really good lawyer, who can express to a jury that this guy represents the average hardworking American who is tired of being a victim. Highlight some of the things he's done in his life, some of the good stuff he's done in his life. Bring some character witnesses in there. A couple of white neighbors. Always works out. in America, you got a white neighbor who can speak on your behalf, talk about how great you are in the community. And he'll probably beat the case. No way possible this guy should go to jail for a bunch of years. And, look, he didn't even kill him. He didn't kill him. You can give him credit for that because he could have killed him if he wanted to. He could have killed him. But he let him make it. But he did seem like he just wanted to pop him enough to let them know I ain't the one. You're on someone else's property stealing their stuff. They went too far with this, taking this man's stuff. And he defended his property. So these boys should look at that as a lesson and a blessing. Their parents should say to themselves, good Lord, I've been trying to tell him. I've been trying to talk to him. I told him something like this would happen. Thank you, Lord, that I still got my baby. I'm not mad at this guy. If the parents should look at this as a blessing in disguise, the parents should go to law enforcement and say, do not pursue these charges. The parents should, because this guy possibly saved their lives. This is if they're not stubborn, they're not still thinking that they are good at being criminals. He may have just saved their lives, because perhaps that's what it took for them to catch that snap and realize that crime is not a good idea. Stealing people's stuff off their porches it's not a good idea. He possibly could have saved their lives. Maybe this is the warning shots. You can look at it like that. Maybe these were warning shots that they needed. Each one of them needed those warning shots. You got shot in the hand and in the foot. In the arm and foot, man, call it a day. You're lucky. You're lucky to be alive. With all of the teaching his parents or whoever their guardians are were giving them, they didn't get it. They still didn't get it. And perhaps this might be the catalyst for change. Perhaps they'll change after this. And if that happens, the family should actually be thanking this man. They owe him. Because it's people out there that will kill him. It's people out there that would have killed him. And you know who I'm talking about. Oh yeah, they wouldn't have just shot him in the foot or in the arm. They would have made sure they killed him. Some of them would have walked up on him and stood over him and shot him. Parents, these can't be your babies during the day and gangsters at night. You can't have babies in the day and gangsters at night. Teach your children to stop stealing people's stuff. In fact, teach your children to not steal other people's stuff, to not take other people's stuff. Teach your children that a mistake could cost them their life. Teach your children that one wrong move could cost them their life. Where one person might let them make it, totally let them run off with the package or whatever and just check their camera footage later and try to get them, let the police do it. But there are other people that's going to take the law into their own hands. You might come across a guy like this guy who decided, you know what, I'm just going to pop him. You'll give him a warning. You'll find a guy like that might just give him a warning, like Rakim. Rakim just give him a warning. It's a warning shot. But then there's others who might decide, you know what, I'm going to give him some fatal shots. I'm going to kill him